Let's talk about tests. We all know that if you want to ship high quality code and reduce bugs, tests are essential. But here's the problem. Many developers forget to run the tests. Some even choose to skip them. Don't worry, in this video, I'll show you a guaranteed way to ensure that every developer in your team always runs the tests. We'll do that by setting up a GitHub Action. The GitHub Action will run the tests automatically whenever somebody raises a pull request. We'll even have it publish the results as a comment. Not only that, we'll also make it so that pull requests can't be merged in unless these tests pass. So this is what we're aiming for. Every pull request will display the results of your test as a comment. No need to remind everyone to run the test. They'll automatically be executed and the results are clear for your pull request reviewers. I'm going to give you all of the code needed and take you through all of the steps to do this. After watching this video, you'll be able to have this working in your own projects in just a couple of minutes. For GitHub to pick up our workflow, in the root of your repository, we need to add a .github directory, and within that directory, we need to add a workflow directory. Here, we will add our workflow file. I'm going to call this file run unit tests on PR, and we need to make sure that it has the .yaml file extension. This YAML file defines the GitHub Action workflow we are going to build. We'll start by giving the workflow a name. Next, we'll define when the workflow runs, in this case on every pull request into main. Now let's give our workflow the required permissions. First, we need to grant our workflow the permission to read the contents of our repository. We also need to grant the workflow permission to write checks on the pull request. Checks are those statuses that you see on pull requests which indicate whether the workflow completed successfully or not. Finally, our workflow needs permission to write to pull requests so that it can add a comment with the test results. Next, we'll define a job called run tests. We will have this workflow run on the latest version of Ubuntu, as this is faster and less resource intensive than Windows. Now let's define the steps in the job. First, we need to check out our code. We also need to set up dotnet to be able to run our tests. I'm using the latest version of dotnet, which is currently dotnet 9. Now let's install any dependencies that our project might have using the dotnet restore command. Now we can run our tests. First, let's make a directory to store our test results in. And then we can run our tests with the dotnet test command. We'll use the TRX logger to output our test results in the test result file format, TRX for short, and we'll store them in the test results directory that we just created. The continue on error true setting here ensures the workflow continues even if there's an error. This will let us publish failed test results to the pull request. Now let's publish the test results. To do this, we'll use the publish unit test results action from the GitHub marketplace. This is free. We'll point the action to the test results generated in the previous step. The action will format the results and then post them to the pull request as a comment. Okay, that's the workflow complete. Let's test it out. So I'll just create a pull request to trigger the workflow. We can see that our tests have been automatically triggered. We'll just give them a few seconds to run. The test run has now completed and a comment has been added showing all of the tests have passed. Let's see what happens when we have a pull request with failing tests. A comment has been left showing how many tests have failed, and there's also a link to see which tests failed. Well, there you have it. The tests are being ran on every pull request automatically, but here's the thing. Even though the tests are being ran, there's nothing actually stopping someone from merging in a pull request with failing tests. So here's a quick bonus tip for you. Set up branch protection rules that require all tests to pass before the pull request can be merged. Let's do that now. So in your repository, click on the settings tab. In the left-hand sidebar, select branches. Click add branch rule set. Give the rule set a name. Set the enforcement status to active. specify the default branch as the target branch. Now let's add a rule that we require status checks to pass, and let's add our checks. While we're here, let's also require a pull request before merging to prevent commits straight onto main, bypassing our checks, and then click create. Now if we take a look at our pull request with failing tests, we can see that it's no longer possible to merge into main. It's only now possible to merge so long as our tests pass. And there you have it. We now have an automated workflow that ensures tests are always ran and that they must pass before code can be merged into main. All of the code that we've written today is linked in the description below. If you found this video helpful, please do hit the like button, subscribe and share this video. I'm Terry Mace and you've been watching Mace Labs. See you next time.